shall we tell it together? We'll tell it together. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yogakarotam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. So today I told I'll discuss about the philosophy of Sankhya, based on which the yoga philosophy is. So before that, very quickly I just tell, in India we have 9 main schools of philosophy. Out of that, 6 are called Astika Darshanas and 3 are called Nastika Darshanas. These Astika Darshanas, they believe in the authority of Vedas. The Nastika Darshanas, they do not believe in the Vedas. The 3 Nastika Darshanas are Charvaka, Bauddha and Jaina. That is Buddhism, Jainism, and there is another school of thought called Charvaka. They do not believe in the Vedas. But the 6 Astika Darshanas, in this we have Sankhya and Yoga. They believe in the authority of the Vedas. I have grouped them into two because the Sankhya and Yoga are very similar to each other. Nyaya and Vaisheshika are very similar to each other. Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa, they deal with the Vedas. Purva Mimamsa deals with the first portion of the Vedas, and Uttara Mimamsa, it is also called Vedanta, that deals with the ending portion of the Vedas. So to understand yoga philosophy, we need to understand the Sankhya philosophy. I'll tell the differences also. There is a slight difference in yoga philosophy. But first we'll see Sankhya philosophy, what it tells about the theory of creation. So in Sankhya there are 2 major elements, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is consciousness, Prakriti is matter. We say Prakriti is Jada, that is, it doesn't have its own intelligence. It is just matter. But only when Purusha and Prakriti come together, creation happens. Purusha does not have any gunas, but Prakriti has these 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. In the previous session I had told about the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. I will just recap that quickly. Sattva is a very light energy, very calm, very peaceful. Qualities like compassion, kindness, they all come under this Sattva guna. Rajas is active, very active. The motivation to achieve something, impulsiveness, even restlessness, they all come under this Rajas. And Tamas is the dull state. Sleeping, laziness, they all come under Tamas. It's not that one is good and the other is bad. Everything is required. We do need rest also. So Tamas is also to some extent needed. Now the whole creation, you see so many things in this world. It is all because of the varying compositions of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. To give an analogy so that you understand better, we see so many colors. But if you see, there are 3 primary colors. RGB they say, red, blue and green. All colors are nothing but the mixture of this red, blue and green in various compositions. Similarly, everything that you see here is because of varying compositions of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Now, this Prakriti is one, but it is infinite. So Prakriti has 2 parts. One is the unmanifested part and the other is the manifested part. Manifested part is what we are able to perceive, we are able to see. There is unmanifested part of Prakriti. That unmanifested part of Prakriti is infinite. There is only one Prakriti, one unmanifested Prakriti, and it is infinite. But the Purusha, many Purushas are there. It's not that there is only one Purusha. There are many Purushas, and there is a Purusha in me, there is a Purusha in you all, there is an individual Purusha in all of us. Why is it like that? Because this consciousness, consciousness mainly wants to experience something. But it cannot experience just like that. There should be something for it to experience. So it comes close to the matter, the Prakriti, to create something so that it can experience it. So this Purusha wants to experience so many different things. So the Purusha in me wants to experience many things. The Purusha in you wants to experience other different things. Even the same thing, I will experience it in one way and you will experience it in another way. Since the Purusha wants to have different experiences, the Purusha becomes different individual units. So the Purusha is in different individual units so that he can experience different things. Now the Purusha comes close to Prakriti, and then the first thing, okay, so this to make you understand better this Purusha and Prakriti, you can think of Purusha as like an idea. It's a desire to create something, and Prakriti is the material with which you are able to bring that desire to manifestation, make that desire a realization. Say for example, we have a pot. That is the manifest Prakriti. From where did it come? From the clay. Clay is unmanifest Prakriti. Pot came from the clay, but there was some intelligence. Somebody had the desire to create a pot from the clay. So that desire, that intention, that is coming from the Purusha. So without intention, nothing can happen. But if there's only intention and there is no matter to create something, then also nothing happens. So Prakriti and Purusha both are needed to create something. So now Purusha and Prakriti have come together to create something. The first thing that is created is the Buddhi. It is also called Mahat, the intelligence. So everything has its own intelligence. If you take a dog, it knows to bark. We don't teach it to bark. It has its own intelligence. So everything in this universe has its own intelligence. Then the Ahankara gets formed. That is the individual identity. When the Ahankara is formed, I see myself as separate from you. That separate feeling of I am different, you are different, that comes from this Ahankara. Now the individual entity is formed, and the Purusha wants to experience through that individual entity. To experience, he needs some faculties. So then the 5 Jnanendriyas are created. Jnanendriyas are Shrotram, that is ears, Ghanam, this is nose, and then Chakshu, eyes, Jihva, tongue, and Twak is the skin. And 5 Karmendriyas are created. The 5 Karmendriyas are Vak, speech, the mouth, Pani is the hands, Pada, legs, and the genitals and the anus. These are the 5 Karmendriyas. And the Manas is also created, mind. Through the mind only the Purusha can experience. The mind is connected to the Indriyas, the sense organs, and through that he experiences the world. Then the 5 Tanmatras. These are the sense of touch, sense of sight, sense of sound, sense of the feel. All these are the 5 Tanmatras. Now we have all the faculties to experience the world are created, but there should be something to experience outside. So then the 5 Mahabhutas, Pancha Mahabhutas, the 5 elements, that is the earth element. This corresponds to the sense of smell, and the water element corresponds to the sense of taste. Fire element corresponds to the sense of sight, and air corresponds to the sense of touch, and ether corresponds to the sense of sound. So this is the theory of creation according to Sankhya philosophy. If you see here, the number of elements in this, 5 jnanendriyas plus 5 karmendriyas, 10, then manas is 11, and 5 tanmatras and 5 mahabhutas. So that is 21, plus ahankara, buddhi, 23, prakriti and purusha, 25. So Sankhya, the name comes from the word Sankhya, means numbers. So this philosophy deals with these 25 elements. The whole philosophy is on proving that this is how it is, using these 25 elements. So that is why the name for the philosophy is Sankhya. Now what is the cause of suffering according to the Sankhya philosophy? This Purusha has got identified, he's become too much associated with the Prakriti. He thinks that I am this Prakriti, that is the cause of suffering. And according to the Sankhya philosophy, there are 3 main sufferings for anybody. That is Adhyatmika, that is intra-organic, that is within ourselves. It includes physical sufferings like illness, all that, and also mental sufferings like jealousy, depression, anger, all these come under Adhyatmika. Adhibhautika is from the external forces. Someone else is causing harm to us, or some animal is causing the trouble, or even plants and trees. That comes under Adhibhautika. And Adhidaivika is from supernatural forces like calamities, nature causes some suffering. It can also be some planets and all that. That comes under Adhidaivika. So in the end of reciting the mantras, we usually say Om Shanti 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 3 times. That is why we say 3 times, is to pacify these 3 sufferings: Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika and Adhidaivika. Now how to come out of the suffering? That is when the Purusha realizes that he is not the Prakriti. That state is called Kaivalya. But this is not just knowing intellectually that okay, I am the Purusha and that is Prakriti, I'm different, but not knowing just intellectually, but actually experiencing it. That is the state of Kaivalya. And the way out is, so we came from Prakriti, Purusha, Mahat, Ahankara, Jnanendriya, like this. So the reverse order is the way out of this maze. So first we have to dissociate from the objects, gross objects, and then from the sensations, and then from the manas, the thoughts. So, and then from ahankara, from the getting too much identified with our identity. So now you might understand why when I made you do the meditation on the first 2 sessions, first I asked you to see the objects and disassociate from them, and then I ask you to see the sensations in the body and disassociate, create a distance from them, and then the thoughts. And then the second session I added that for 2 minutes drop all your identities. So this is the order to do that. That is why I made the meditation like that. This shloka is from, I had told that King Bhoja has written a commentary on the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. In his work he has written this shloka: Patanjali Muneruktihi Kapya Purva Jayatyasau Pum Prakrityoho Viyogopi Yoga Ityudito Yatha. That is, he is telling that this yoga is actually Viyoga. Viyoga means separation. So what we are aiming in yoga is actually separation of Purusha and Prakriti. But still the funny thing, the unique thing here is, it is called yoga. Yoga means union. Though it is separation, we are calling it yoga. A nice analogy for understanding this Prakriti, Purusha and everything. Just think that there is a king. he is enjoying a dance performance in his court by a dancer. Now, everything is fine as long as the king knows that he is the king and she is the dancer and he is enjoying the performance. But if the king starts getting too much associated with the dancer, he wants to possess her, he wants to be one with her. So say he gets that kind of an urge and he gets into a relationship with the dancer. It's not that they both will be happily ever after. that is a very rare, it's not possible. There might be some misunderstanding, or she may fall in love with someone else. Something might happen between them. Now suppose she falls in love with someone else, then the king will be so sad, he will be so upset, he'll go into depression. It is a huge suffering for him. But the moment the king realizes, oh, I am the king, why am I behaving like a slave to the dancer? The moment he gets that realization, he is freed from the suffering. So that is this Sankhya philosophy represented through this analogy. I hope you will be able to understand now better. So in this philosophy, after Kaivalya, that is the state of complete freedom, it's not like in Vedanta they say the Jivatma merges with the Paramatma. We don't. In Sankhya it's not like that. The Purusha will also remain as it is, Prakriti will also remain as it is. Only thing that is, the Purusha is not getting associated too much. He is not identifying himself with the Prakriti. So it's basically a state of realization rather than something happening externally. It's basically an internal state of realization. So the characteristics of Prakriti can be Vyakta, that is manifested, or it can be Avyakta. In the Vyakta form, in the Sankhya philosophy, whatever is manifested is considered non-eternal and whatever is unmanifested is considered eternal. So the Vyakta part of Prakriti is non-eternal, but the Avyakta part of Prakriti is eternal. Sakriya means Prakriti is very active always. Always wanting to create something. Only thing is she needs that Purusha to create, but she is always wanting to create something. And Gunayuta means it has three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Purusha, he is a Sakshi, that is, he is just a witnesser. Purusha is pure consciousness, just witnessing. And Gunatita, that is, Purusha doesn't have gunas, the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And Madhyastha is, the Purusha doesn't have any concept of happiness or sadness. Everything is same. It's just an experience for the Purusha. And Purusha is, because Purusha is also Avyakta, he is eternal. Okay, so here if you see this, there is no concept of any creator or any God, because the Sankhya philosophy does not believe in God. This is called Nirishwaravada. So they do not believe in God. Then who is creating? If the question arises, they answer it with this analogy, that is, a cow is there, the cow has milk in its udder, and when the calf comes close to the cow, the milk starts pouring out. Similarly, everything is there in the Prakriti. When the Purusha comes, the creation happens. That's it. There is no creator. In this, the yoga philosophy differs. In yoga, Patanjali has introduced the concept of Ishvara, but Ishvara is not like it's not a supernatural God concept. He says it is Purusha Visheshaha. Ishvara is also a Purusha, but you can say he is an ideal Purusha. He never gets touched by Prakriti. He never gets too much identified with Prakriti. He always knows, I am the Purusha. So that ideal Purusha, that is Ishvara. And one more difference between Sankhya and Yoga is, in Sankhya it is just theory, how this happens, all that theory is described, but there is Sankhya doesn't mention any tools to reach that state of Kaivalya. According to Sankhya, the knowledge of this at the experiential level will give you Kaivalya, but yoga, in yoga, Patanjali gives lots of tools. We can choose whatever tool we want to reach that state of Kaivalya. So these are the two main differences. Yoga is more practical approach. Sankhya is the theoretical approach. So now we will do the Sutra Recitation. Maybe first 15 sutras we can tell together, or would you like to repeat?
We can do it together.
Yeah, okay. We'll do it. Let's start. Atha yoganuशासनम् योगश्चित्तवृत्तिनिरोधः तदा द्रष्टुस्वरूपेव स्थानं वृत्तिसारूप्यमितरत्र वृत्तयः पञ्चतयः क्लिष्टाः प्रमाणविपर्ययविकल्पनिद्रास्मृतयः प्रत्यक्षानुमानागमाः प्रमाणानि विपर्ययो मिथ्याज्ञानमतद्रूपप्रतिष्ठम् शब्दज्ञानानुपाती वस्तुशून्यो विकल्पः अभावप्रत्ययालम्बनावृत्तिर्निद्रा अनुभूतविषया सम्प्रमोषस्मृतिः अभ्यासवैराग्याभ्यां तन्निरोधः तत्र स्थितौ यत्नोऽभ्यासः स तु दीर्घकालनैरन्तर्यसत्कारासेवितो दृढभूमिः दृष्टानुश्राविक विषयवितृष्णस्य वशीकारसंज्ञा वैराग्यम् तत्परं पुरुषख्यातेर्गुणवैतृष्ण्यम् वितर्कविचारानन्दास्मितारूपानुगमात् सम्प्रज्ञातः विरामप्रत्ययाभ्यासपूर्वः संस्कारशेषोऽन्यः भवप्रत्ययो विदेहप्रकृतिलयानां श्रद्धा वीर्य स्मृति समाधि प्रज्ञापूर्वक इतरेषां तीव्र संवेगानामासन्नः मृदु मध्याधिमात्रत्वात् ततोपि विशेषः. So very quick recap of the sutras 1 to 15. First 4 sutras were the foundation. Patanjali says this is the study of yoga, and this text is written in consonance with the previous text. Then he says, what is yoga? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is cessation of all the modifications of the mind. Then he says, what happens when we are in the state of yoga? That is, we are one with the drashta, the purusha. And what happens if we are not in the state of yoga? We become associated with other things. And then we discussed about the 5 modifications of the mind, which are pramana, right knowledge, viparyaya, wrong knowledge, then vikalpa, imagination, nidra, sleep, and smriti, memory. And then we discussed the 2 tools which Patanjali Maharshi has given, that is abhyasa, practice, and vairagya, disassociation. Now we will go to the next sutra, that is about samadhi. What is samadhi? If you see the etymology of this word, it is samyak adhiyate chittam asmin iti samadhihi. That is, it is a state where the chitta Chitta, is composed of the manas, buddhi and ahankara. So samadhi is a state where the chitta is well stationed, it is stable, it is not flickering, it is not wandering here and there, it is stable. So that state is called samadhi. There are two types of samadhis, samprajnata samadhi and asamprajnata samadhi. In the next sutra, Patanjali discusses what is samprajnata samadhi. He says it is vitarka, vichara, ananda, asmita, rupanugamat, samprajnataha. So, vitarka is, these are stages in the samprajnata samadhi. Basically, samprajnata samadhi is also called salambana samadhi. Here, we are taking the support of an external object to stabilize the mind. That is samprajnata samadhi. Samyak prajnayate vedyam vastu yasmin saha samprajnata samadhi. It is also the state where the object that you want to know about is clearly perceived. That is samprajnata samadhi. It is also called salambana samadhi. In Sanskrit, alambana means taking support of. So salambana is, it is a samadhi in which you are taking support of something. So it's a step-by-step process. First step is vitarka. What is vitarka? Chittasya alambane sthulaha abhogaha. Here the person takes a gross item for support to stabilize the mind. So it could be an idol of a god. It could be a lamp. Some people meditate keeping a lamp and they focus on the flame. It could be that. So anything that is gross. So the other day, in the first session, someone asked me, have you experienced samadhi? So I told no, but for me teaching, I get engrossed in this. So this also it comes under the vitarka, because I take the support of the students, I take the support of the audience. So that comes under the vitarka. So many people have something in which they get engrossed, the mind becomes stable, it doesn't think of anything else. So that comes under the vitarka, samprajnata samadhi. The next is vicharaha. Here sukshmaha vichara. So here we are moving from the gross to the subtle. Gross, so this pancha mahabhutas, 5 jnanendriyas and karmendriyas, they come under gross. Everything else is subtle. So it can be like contemplating on something, thinking about, you are making some, if you relate it, so this yoga thing, it's not just, it doesn't apply only to yoga, it applies to various life situations also. So you have an idea, sattva utkarsha, the sattva guna, there is an upsurge of sattva guna in us, we feel some kind of happiness. That is this state of ananda. And in the next state, asmita state, the person separates from that happiness also. In the ananda state, we are experiencing and enjoying that happiness. In the asmita state, the person disassociates from that happiness. In Sanskrit, asmi means I am. So asmita is the state of just being, I amness, that's it. So this is the step-by-step process, and here in samprajnata samadhi we are taking the support of chitta vrittis. Though there are not so many chitta vrittis in the mind, we still have that one chitta vritti whose support we are taking to stabilize the mind. So this samprajnata samadhi is dependent on the chitta vritti. The next step, the higher samadhi, is the asamprajnata samadhi. Here it says virama pratyaya abhyasa purvaha samskara shesho anyaha. Anyaha means the other one. That refers to asamprajnata samadhi. In asamprajnata samadhi, the pratyaya refers to the Chittavritti only. It refers to Chittavritti. Virama means cessation. So in Asampragnata Samadhi, that one Chittavritti which you were taking support of, that is also gone. That also ceases to exist. And this happens because of Abhyasa Purvaha. So to reach that state is preceded by Abhyasa. With practice only it comes. Though there are no Chittavrittis, the Samskara Shesha, the Samskaras still remain. If you remember in the first session, I had given this analogy of ripples on the lake. The ripples are the Chittavrittis. So in Sampragnata Samadhi, what happens? The ripples are, only one ripple may remain, but others are gone. In Asampragnata Samadhi, there are no ripples. The water is very clear. But because there were so many ripples before, the undercurrents created impressions in the bottom of the lake. Those impressions are the samskaras. Because of our continuous activities and associations with the objects of the world, we have created impressions. Those impressions are the samskaras. They remain in the Asampragnata Samadhi. Say for example, you're cycling. The moment you stop pedaling, the cycle doesn't stop immediately. It still goes on for some time and then stops. So that going on for some time is the samskara. A yogi, what he does is, at this stage he has realized that I am not this prakriti. So because he knows it, when the cycle is pedaling, he doesn't react to it. He is just witnessing it. So then the pedaling, the movement of the wheel, it stops on its own. But if he again starts pedaling, then again the motion is created. Then the next sutra, Patanjali says, Bhava Pratyayaha Videha Prakriti Layanam. So some people may get a doubt. There are some people who do not practice any Ashtanga Yoga, anything, but still they go to Samadhi, that too at very small age. Say for example, Ramana Maharshi, some people might know him. He did not have any guru. He did not practice any yoga, but at a very young age, he got into Samadhi. How is that possible? So for that, Patanjali says this. For some people, Videha Prakriti Layanam, that is, some people in the previous life, they have done a lot of work on this. They have worked on their mind, they have done a lot of sadhana. But because the body has to, one day it has to fall, it cannot go on forever. So they became Videha, that is disembodied. They left the body. So for them, just taking birth is enough, because only little work is remaining for them. So just taking birth is enough. They will reach the highest state of Samadhi. But for others, for such people it is Bhava Pratyaya, but for others it is Upaya Pratyaya. So what is Upaya Pratyaya? So Itaresham means for others. He says, he gives few more tools. Already Patanjali gave the tools of Abhyasa and Vairagya. Now he gives few more tools. Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvaka. So first we'll see Shraddha. Last session also I told a little bit about Shraddha. This word is, it's not possible to exactly translate to English. Every language has some untranslatables. I think even Dutch has many such. I know few Dutch words like nix and hazel. They are like untranslatable. You cannot translate it, but you can explain it. So similarly, this Shraddha Chetasaha Samprasadha. Shraddha creates, it brings happiness, pleasantness to the mind. And Sahi, this is from the commentary, I have picked this line. Sahi Janani Iva Kalyani Yoginam Pati. So this Shraddha, it is something which gives us happiness. So a practice that you love doing, that will be, when you do that, that is Shraddha. It should not be something that you think that I'm obliged to do, I'm supposed to do. There are so many practices, but you can choose what you love doing. So if that kind of an activity is there, then that sahi janani iva kalyani yoginam pati. It will protect the yogi like a mother, because many obstacles will come on the path. You take the path of yoga, or you take any other thing that you are pursuing in life, obstacles will come. But if you love doing the practice that you think, that you believe will lead you to the final goal, then the obstacles are taken care of. You don't mind those obstacles. You just consider them as an obstacle and you go ahead. But if you don't like doing it, then if an obstacle comes, immediately you will stop doing the practice. So this Shraddha it includes faith, but not blind faith, understanding that this will lead me to the final goal. So faith with an understanding, and that love doing that is also included in Shraddha. And also sincerity, doing it very sincerely, that also is Shraddha. So when there is Shraddha, Virya comes, that enthusiasm, the energy to do that practice, that automatically it comes. Shraddha leads to Virya. So for example, I discovered this practice of journaling. I really love doing it because it helps me process my thoughts very well. So I do it daily. Nobody is forcing me to do. I myself do it daily. And because I love doing, I look forward to, every morning I look forward to do this thing of journaling. And when we have the Virya, we get the Smriti. So that is Smriti, is remembering the steps. Okay, for this practice, what all steps am I supposed to do? You will automatically remember. And you will also remember that you should do it, because you are looking forward to do it. And then the Samadhi also comes. That is, the mind becomes stable when you are doing some practice that you love to do, and you are doing with enthusiasm and energy. Then Samadhi also happens. And then Prajna. Prajna is the wisdom. You are able to see what is eternal, what is non-eternal. That kind of wisdom also comes. And also for this Prajna, I read that some people say this is Ritambara Prajna. Ritambara Prajna is reading, knowing something through books or lectures is different, but actually experiencing something, that is the Ritambara Prajna. Say for example, swimming. I watch people swim. I know the theory of swimming, but only when I actually get into the water and swim, I experience it and I understand. That is Ritambara Prajna. So that is the next, after Shraddha, Virya and Smriti, Samadhi, then this Ritambara Prajna happens. Then the question will come. Last session somebody asked, how much should I practice? So that is, here Patanjali answers it. Tivra samveganam asana. Samvega is that eagerness, that intense enthusiasm. So those who have that, those for whom it is tivra, that is intense, you have this intense urge to achieve that goal, for them it happens quickly. But this intense urge, it should not be confused with impatience. Impatience comes because there is a doubt, oh, will I achieve this or not? That doubt is there, so you want to finish it off fast. But here it is that eagerness, that enthusiasm to do it. And for whom it is intense, for them, they reach the state of samadhi very quickly. And here he gives the 3 types of intensities that people have: mridu, madhya and adhimatra. That is mridu. So samvega is of 3 categories. Mridu is the mild one. Say, suppose in the field of yoga meditation, some people have it like a hobby. whenever they get time, they do it. That is mrudu. It's not wrong, but it will give results slowly. Madhya Samvega is medium. That is, they are serious about it, but they have other work also, like most of us. They will dedicate some time for the practice, and they will do other things also. And Adhimatra Samvega is, the intensity is so much, they cannot do anything else, they want to fully be into this. So for them, because it is Tivra, for them the result will be quick. If you take any work, when we fully dedicate our time and energies to it, then obviously the results are faster. But if we do it like a part-time, then it will be slower. So it's not that the Mrudu is wrong or something, but it's also Tivra Samvega. It should not be confused with doing very intense intense practices. Even a simple practice, if it is done with that earnestness, eagerness, and with that enthusiasm, intense enthusiasm, even a simple practice is enough. And the next sutra, he says, Ishvara Pranidhanatva. So either you do all this, or there is one more tool, Ishvara Pranidhana, that is devotion to Ishvara. Here, it doesn't mean worshipping Ishvara in the temple or at home. This is the yogic way of devotion to Ishvara. We will see this in the next session. So we will do the practice today. Before that, I just wanted to tell, some people are interested in the classes, and also I will upload the recording of this session in YouTube. So this is my channel, Tattvam is my YouTube channel, and my website is tattvam.org, and you can also send an email to me. I'm starting a Sanskrit class batch for beginners in September, so if anybody is interested, you can make use of it. So we are going to do the same thing. First you see the objects and disassociate from them. Then you focus on the sensations in your body and look at them separately. Look at them as something separate from you. Don't get associated with them. Third is the thoughts. So there also, when the thoughts come, just look at it as a thought. A wave is just passing, that's it. And the fourth is, for 2 minutes, just keep away all your identities and just try to be in that beingness. And today in the end I will just play one song. It is a stotra written by Shankaracharya. It says that I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the thoughts. Everything he keeps negating. I am Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham will come in the end of every stanza. It says, I am that Chit, that is that consciousness and nothing else. So you can just flow with that song. In the end I will just play. So let's start. First you just see the objects and distance yourself from them. Close your eyes, look at the sensations in your body and just see them as another sensation, that's it. thoughts. If a thought arises, just look at it as a passing wave. For just 2 minutes, just imagine that you don't have any identity, you don't know from where you came, you don't have an address, you don't have an email ID, you don't have a name, you're just blank, just that being. So with this, I conclude this session. If any of you have any questions, you can ask.
It's not an actual question. I think the way you explained the theory of it was not the yoga but the other word, very clear.
Samadhi?
The samadhi? No.
Samkhyaphilosophy?
Yes, that philosophy, I understand what it is. There was one thing, one is internal, and the other ones was external, and then supernatural. For me, there's only two: it's internal and external. But that's it's just other way of looking.
So the other one is, it is external, but it is something which you cannot see. Some planet is influencing you. You cannot see.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
You just played the Nirvana Shatkam.
Yes, correct.
What are the advantages of listening to the Nirvana Shatkam?
So what all we saw now,
Yeah.
the Prakriti consists of manas, buddhi, ahankara, and this chitta, the whole composition which is chitta, and then the indriyas. If you see the Nirvana Shatkam, it is telling Name buddhi, name ahankara, name chitta. I am not this, I am not this, I am not the indriyas. So whatever I just explained, I explained it. That stotra is actually saying it. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. I am just that bliss, just that consciousness, Chidananda, which is blissful. I am just that. So
that means, God bless, that means that every time somebody is doing some prayer, some yoga, some meditation, some mindfulness, in the end they should recite this, because this puts everything in place.
Yes.
So it's a very important.
Very important. My favorite story.
And who was playing this?
Deva Premal. She's
Deva Premal.
Many, you know.
Think about is that I see like monks or people who are doing meditation and then attain that level. But also I think about it in a way that there's no energy anymore. So how do you
No energy in what?
Like people are getting really still, really like do not talk, they are sitting in one position. So I don't see a lot of energy or activity.
You don't see energy or activity in them. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. So how do you know whether that person is really in samadhi or not?
That's my question.
This is about the person. You are engrossed in what you love doing. You are in that state. But this highest, some people are like, that is what we experience, that is the vitarka, that level of samadhi. The asampragnata samadhi, it is like they are totally absorbed and it is called the pointless concentration. They don't have any point to concentrate, but they're totally absorbed. So how do you recognize it? I don't think we can, like, just looking at them, it's possible. And they don't, maybe you will feel, maybe when you go near them, one way is when you go near the person, if you feel very peaceful, if you feel your mind is becoming still, then it means that person is in a very deep state. That is one way. Yeah, but actually those people, they don't even want any recognition.
I think it's a very difficult topic you are trying to explain, and it's not easy, but you are doing it in such a way that you have just even few people, you have raised that curiosity in us to know more about it. It's like maybe if I would have read other, I might not have understood, but you have actually sparked that interest, and so it's very interesting.
I'm happy that the interest is sparked in you. I'm happy. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shubhaji. According to Karma Yoga, if you are helping someone physically, that is not true help. So if you are helping someone with giving knowledge, providing the knowledge, if you are making someone wise, that is the greatest help. And I think Shubhaji is doing that great work with all of you. She has explained very beautifully Sankhya philosophy, various type of samadhis, and as all of you are saying, that definitely philosophy is not easy subject, and I also appreciate your efforts that regularly you are attending the session, because in philosophy class generally people are sleeping and they are not coming regularly. So really we appreciate your efforts that you are coming regularly and joining the session. I also say thanks to Mr. William, who has played very beautiful music during meditation. So I also look forward for the next session. So kindly join the next session on coming Wednesday. Thank you. Namaste.